So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert, if this is your first time tuning in. So today we are doing another unconventional side hustle. This time it's actually one that I used to do myself when I was a young kid, along with my dad. This was years and years ago, but it's something that anyone can do today, and the pay isn't super crazy good, but it's good for someone who has extra time. Maybe a young kid, maybe a kid in high school, junior high, things like that. Again, none of this stuff that I ever talk about in these videos are ever financial advice. Do your own due diligence, do your own research, but I can tell you from my experience that it's a good side hustle to do for someone who is young, who is physically capable of doing the physical requirements of this job. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So real quickly though, if you don't mind hitting that like button, sharing and subscribing to the channel, definitely goes a long way and helps me out. So what is it? So it is actually removing mesquite trees specifically for us down here in South Texas, or in Texas. If you're watching this video and you're in another state, country, whatever, you probably have a native species of either grasses or trees that farmers and ranchers just do not like. It becomes a problem, it's a nuisance, and they're often willing to pay somebody to get rid of them. So what was my job? My job back then, again, to give you a reference, I was about 12, 13, 14 years old. So I was a young kid, and I used to have a pickaxe and an axe and dig out these trees and try to pull them out with as many roots as possible. The reason for that is so that way they wouldn't grow back and become a problem for the rancher, the farmer. A lot of this was just grasses that the farmer would bale. So if you have these little mesquite trees that grow up, they kind of get in the way. Another one was for farming. You know, this farmer used to till the land, and having to be going around all these little trees was also slowed them down and was a problem. So yeah, so that's the reason we would take them out and remove them. Again, these things grow wild down here in South Texas, or in Texas in general, so they're kind of just overly abundant. So what we would do, again, we would just go ahead and dig around them and try to cut out the roots as deep as we could go, so that way hopefully they wouldn't come back. Which most of the time they wouldn't. Occasionally they would, and then the farmer or rancher would just burn them out. But again, this is something that requires a lot of manual labor, requires you to use hand tools, and sometimes it's hot. Look at today. I mean, here in Texas, we're sitting at close to about 100 degrees already. As you can tell, I'm freaking sweating like crazy because it's hot. So yeah, you are going to be working in the heat. You are going to be working with hand tools. You're going to be getting dirty. But it is extra income. Again, for somebody who's young, who is just looking to make some money, it's not a bad thing to do. You know, at least you're being active, physically active, which is good for your health. And you're making money at the same time. And thirdly, I guess, you are also helping a farmer or rancher to help produce more food, or cattle rancher, whatever it is, you're helping them to better their business as well. So how are you going to go about finding these people? You know, maybe you're saying to yourself, I don't even know any farmers, I don't know any ranchers. Well, where do ranchers and farmers shop at? They have to get stuff and supplies too for their properties, for themselves, their household. Sometimes they shop at these big box stores like a Walmart, pick up groceries. Not all of them do, but some do. Or maybe they're just there to pick up some wire, some strings, something for the house. Tractor supply, feedlots, feed stores, your mom and pop little grocery stores. A lot of them will stop there to pick up drinks, waters, Gatorades, sodas, whatever. And a lot of these places have bulletin boards, or community boards, I guess is the best thing to call them. And on there you can leave your card with all your information, and you could also leave a brief message on there saying what you do, what you offer, who you are, and how they can contact you. Because a lot of farmers, a lot of ranchers have a hard time finding people willing to do manual labor. especially today in 2024, not a lot of people are willing to do manual labor. So it puts a little bit of a constraint on farmers and ranchers who are looking for people to do that kind of work, but just can't find them. So if you were to do that today, you'd probably make more than what I did. I'm sure you'll make more than I did back then, because it's valued more than what it was valued back then. Back then, you know, it wasn't highly valued to find people to do manual labor. There wasn't really, at least from what I can remember, again, I was a kid, from what I can remember, it wasn't really a shortage of people to do that kind of work. At least not as, in terms of relative to today, there wasn't as much of a shortage as there is today of people willing to do that kind of manual labor. So when you do have a shortage and you do find somebody who's willing to do that kind of work and who is good, you usually tend to want to pay more to keep that person there. So that works in your favor if you're watching this video, to make a little bit extra money. Now, what you get with this money, what you do with this money is important. You can invest it to make more money. So hopefully in a couple years, you aren't working for money and money's working for you. You can use it to put food on your table. There's a lot of different use cases for the extra income that you're bringing in. Now again, how much can you expect to make? Back then, I was making minimum wage, so it was like I don't even know what it was like 7 something. It wasn't a whole lot. Today, I would say anywhere between 10 on the very, very low end, $10 an hour. I would even say 10, that's kind of low. I would say between 12 and $20 an hour is decent or reasonable for something like that today. Again, things have gone up as well. You have inflation. Not only do you have inflation, but like I said, you have a shortage of people willing to do this kind of labor. So again, anywhere between 12 and 20 is pretty reasonable for something like this. 12 is on the very low end, 20 is a little bit on the higher end, but it's not to say you can't make more than that if you have other skills you can offer to the farmer or the rancher. Maybe you're mechanically inclined, you know how to fix equipment. Hey, they might be willing to pay you a little extra if you can give them a helping hand every now and again when a piece of equipment breaks down. You never know. You know, I think that's invaluable to a rancher, to a farmer today, is to have somebody who has knowledge in an area that is really needed for somebody like that. Because equipment like that breaks down all the time. It almost seems like a daily basis, to be honest. So yeah guys, hope that was helpful, informational, beneficial, and spark something in you to hopefully get up and make a little bit extra money. But without further ado, be careful, be good, take care, and God bless. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.